The late afternoon sun stretched across the quiet countryside road, painting the fields in warm shades of gold. A bright red Ferrari 488 GTB stood motionless on the side of the road, its sleek design shining under the fading light. For most people, seeing a car like that would be exciting. For Daniel Harper, it was a headache. Daniel leaned against the car with frustration written all over his face. His expensive suit jacket was folded over his arm, and his white shirt was now wrinkled and dusty. He had tried starting the car at least 10 times. Each time, the engine only responded with a weak clicking sound. Click, click. Come on, don't do this to me now, Daniel muttered under his breath. He pulled out his phone and held it up, hoping to catch even the smallest bar of signal. Nothing. No signal. No internet. No way to call for help. The nearest city was miles away, and in the last 15 minutes, only one truck had passed by without stopping. Daniel sighed deeply and looked around. Endless fields stretched in every direction. The road was narrow and quiet, with tall trees lining one side and farmland on the other. That's when he noticed someone watching him. A little girl sat on an old wooden fence about 20 feet away. She looked no older than 8. Her brown hair was tied into 2 loose braids, and she held a small basket filled with wildflowers. She had clearly been observing him for a while. When Daniel noticed her, she quickly looked down at the flowers in her basket, pretending she hadn't been staring. Daniel couldn't help but smile. "Well," he said, walking a little closer, "at least someone is enjoying the show." The girl looked up shyly. "Is your car broken?" she asked softly. Daniel laughed lightly. "Unfortunately, yes." Her eyes moved across the shiny red Ferrari, studying every detail like it was the most fascinating object she had ever seen. "It's very pretty," she whispered. "Thanks," Daniel replied. "It's usually fast too, just not today." The girl hopped down from the fence and slowly walked around the car, careful not to touch it. Then she stopped, looked up at Daniel and said something that caught him completely off guard. "My dad can fix it." Daniel raised his eyebrows with curiosity. "Oh, really?" he asked. "Your dad fixes cars?" The girl nodded confidently, as if there was no doubt in her mind. "He fixes tractors, trucks, and all kinds of engines," she said proudly. "People from other villages bring their machines to him." Daniel looked back at the Ferrari, and then at the small dirt road disappearing behind the trees. He smiled slightly. "Well," he said, "I guess it wouldn't hurt to try." When they returned to the roadside, the bright red Ferrari 488 GTB was still sitting quietly where Daniel had left it, glowing under the soft evening sunlight. Tom walked slowly around the car, studying it carefully. Unlike most people who would stare in amazement at such an expensive vehicle, Tom looked at it calmly, like it was simply another machine waiting to be understood. Lily stood beside him proudly. "See, Dad," she said. "I told you it was a nice car." Tom chuckled softly. "It sure is." Daniel watched as Tom set his toolbox on the ground and opened it. The tools inside were old but well organized. Every wrench and screwdriver had its place. "All right," Tom said, "let's hear what it's doing." Daniel climbed into the driver's seat and turned the key again. Click, click. The engine refused to start. Tom leaned closer to the open hood and listened carefully, his eyes focused and thoughtful. He gently touched a few parts of the engine, then nodded slightly as if the car had just told him its secret. "Try it one more time," Tom said. Daniel turned the key again. Click. Tom reached into the engine area and tightened a loose battery terminal with a small wrench. Then he tapped the connection lightly and stepped back. "Okay," he said calmly. "Now try." Daniel took a breath and turned the key. The powerful engine suddenly roared to life, the deep sound of the Ferrari echoing across the quiet countryside. Daniel's eyes widened in disbelief. "You're kidding," he said, stepping out of the car. "That's all it was?" Tom wiped his hands with a cloth and smiled. "Sometimes big problems are just small things hiding," he said. Lily clapped excitedly. "I knew Dad could fix it." Daniel laughed, feeling both relieved and amazed. He reached into his wallet and pulled out several $100 bills. "Please," Daniel said, offering the money. "You saved me a lot of trouble." Tom looked at the money for a moment, but didn't immediately take it. "It was just a loose connection," he replied honestly. "Didn't take much work." Daniel insisted. "Still, you helped me." After a short pause, Tom accepted only one bill and handed the rest back. "This is enough," he said. Daniel looked surprised. Most mechanics he knew in the city would have charged far more. As Daniel prepared to leave, Lily waved cheerfully. "Drive safe," she said. Daniel smiled as he got back into the Ferrari 488 GTB, the engine now running perfectly. As he drove away, one thought stayed in his mind. Sometimes the richest lessons in life come from the simplest people.